اسم آبن ወልድን መንፈስ ቅዱስን ሓደ ኣምላኽ ኣሜን። ሕያውን ቅዱስን እግዚኣብሔር ኣምላኽና ነዚ ሰዓት እዚ ሂብካ ብሓደ ንኽህሉ ስለ ዝገበርካና ነመስግነካ ኣሎና። ነዞም መንእሰያትና ክትባርኽን ክትቅድስን ብጸጋኻ ክትመርሕን ድማ ነባኻ ነማዕቅቦም ኣሎና ኣሜን። Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Hail Mary, the Lord is with thee. Blessed are you among women, and blessed the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and in the hour of our death. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Hello, everyone. I want to welcome everyone for coming today. I am so glad to see you all here. I want to thank our guest speakers for sharing their wisdom, and a special thank you to our young adult organizers with Simbet for coordinating this amazing event. This is a wonderful opportunity to discover your gifts and explore the path God has in store for you. I encourage you to pay close attention and ask questions, and I wish you a good time. God bless you. Amen.
Alrighty, can you guys hear me? Alright, hey guys, we are a bit Mnet, I'm stand up real quick. And thank you so much for coming and joining us today. This is a blessing to have all you guys over here. We're gonna have some fun today. Hopefully you guys are gonna receive some insight, and you're gonna meet these wonderful people who are here to share their journey with you guys. And please feel free to share any comments, concerns, any questions that you guys have. I would ask that everybody silence their phones. If you have any water bottles or anything, please don't leave your belongings at the church. Just take it with you. All right. And yes, once again, I'm TT. I'm Salam.
Ratu.
Alright. Awesome. This is more for the panelists. If y'all don't mind, can y'all move to this side, please? So everybody can see. Oh, yeah. I'm just go ahead and let everybody introduce themselves from Ida.
I'm Ida. Okay, I'm Ida.
I'm Abby.
Medhanie.
Lucia.
I'm Lydia.
Tagas.
That's it? Yeah. Well, technically, say what, yeah. Keep it what you do. Say what you do.
Okay, so right now I'm a copywriter intern for Raccoon Shoes at their corporate office in Charlotte. So basically, whatever you see on Amazon, like bar descriptions, that's what I write. And I kind of focus on just making sure that I flush that out and help users have a good experience on the site.
I am a HVAC technician, so I do repair AC units.
I'm Lucia. I work as a nurse. Currently, my role is a clinical supervisor.
Medhanie, I work in pharmaceutical sales.
I'm Abby.
Medhanie. I'm a real estate agent.
I'm Ida. I'm an analyst and I work for Lowe's.
Anyone else? And Sarah, Sarah.
Hey everyone, I'm Sara. I'm a resident internal medicine doctor at Duke Hospital.
Hey everybody, I'm Yanas. I'm a software engineer. My title is a full stack engineer.
And I want to thank you guys for being here, take your time to be here. Just to start off, can you guys just briefly share your career path and then what, I guess, inspired you guys to pursue what you do now?
My career path started as soon as I graduated. I did business and economics, and then COVID happened, so it was kind of like a struggle trying to figure out what I wanted to do. But I decided to look for more like analytical positions, and then I scored a job with Lowe's, and then now I just try to build my resume with all types of skills so they can be transferable to any other job. So I'm still kind of making my way around.
So I was a business management major, actually graduated from UCC. I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I ended up finding a position as a loan officer. And I did that for about 6 years, and the market crashed, and I had decided to take a break. And then in 2020, when COVID happened, I was looking to sell my home, and I was like, well, let me get back into real estate. So this time I decided to pursue being an agent on the other side of it, and I've been doing it ever since, and I love it.
Yeah, so I graduated from Winston-Salem State, then went to a 2-year program at Target where a lot of the people were like, man, you love to talk, so you should be in sales. And I didn't know anything about sales at the time. So then I started going to copier sales. So I used to sell these big copiers. I did that for about 7 years, and then I got into medical device sales, where I was selling like insulin pumps for type 1 diabetes. And then now I am so basically now I work with providers, doctors to educate on a certain drug.
So I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do, so I started off right after high school. I went to community college. I went there for 2 years, and then I was thinking about doing medicine, so I was like a biology major, then transferred to UNCC. And then a friend of mine had applied to nursing school, and then so I was like, well, maybe I should get my undergrad in nursing and then go into medicine if that's what I wanted to do. So I kind of ended up doing that, and I ended up falling in love with nursing and kind of stuck with it, and I kind of been doing that since.
So I graduated from NC State in December, and my degree was communications with a minor in creative writing. So I just wanted to try to find a job that wasn't as, boring as a corporate job is kind of portrayed as. So I just looked for internships because the job market is, especially at this time, really hard to get into. And I was looking for what kind of pathways would best benefit me in terms of, what I was looking for, writing and creativity. And I found with research copywriting, and I landed a copywriting internship. And so right now I'm just figuring out if that works for me. If it doesn't, I'll pivot, and if not, then I'll continue on the path. So, yeah.
Mine is, I don't know how to explain, but I don't also know how I'm here with these young people. So I am at the age of some of you parents. I used to drive truck the 18 wheels, but I never settled to be there without no skill. I never sleep without thinking of to have something in my hand that no one can take it from me. And I searched a lot, but I could not get it easy. I actually never heard about HVAC as I grew up. We never have AC or anything related to HVAC back home where I grew up. So I never heard about HVAC until I come here. And I know a quote, guy said he is an engineer. he said it on his speech when he finished his 4 years of university. He became an engineer. He said, 4 years ago, I never know what engineer is. Now I am an engineer. So, same way it goes to me. I never heard about HVAC. Now I'm HVAC technician. That comes from never giving up of your dream. I never dreamed about HVAC, but I dreamed to have something in me so no one can take it from me. So HVAC, I chose that and I searched. I actually could not find it here. I drove my truck to Pennsylvania to go to school. So I take a load from here, go to Pennsylvania. Monday I go to school. Tuesday I bring load to somewhere here or Texas, go back to Pennsylvania for the school. Doing this, after a long time, I met Simrat, and I told her about my ambition. And she said, well, this is easy. Come to me Monday and I got you. So that was Friday, actually, right? That was Friday. And she asked me if I am ready to do that. I said, I'm ready. So I went Friday. They test me English and some math. I did that. I did not bring A, but I passed. So they put me in the class for the HVAC. It took me about 6 months to get that base certificate. Then I finished my 1 year course. Then I searched job. I find it. Now I'm a technician. So I actually started a side job for some of you guys. Some houses were out of the AC, and the parents, the kids were outside the whole day. It was hard. They could not wait there, and I fixed it. Thank you.
Got one more job right there.
Yeah, and for the people in this Zoom, Dr. Sarah, would you like to go ahead?
Hey everyone, so a little bit question was just like how I got into my field. So, and I went to undergrad at Duke and I studied neuroscience there. And I actually, before I studied neuroscience, I actually didn't really want to do medicine. I was more interested in pre-law. And I think I just had external factors like my family that encouraged me to explore the medical route, which I was intimidated by and continue to be intimidated by, but now we're here. But yeah, I studied neuroscience at Duke, and it was not easy at all. The medical route in general was not easy. As many people know, that I took there was a bit of a time that several years I spent before actually going to medical school. I did research, which is really important before going to medical school. I have a good foundation in research. I research like neurobehavioral research at UNC, and then also did a postgraduate program in biomedical sciences as well, and that kind of prepared my application to get into medical school. I did medical school at Virginia Tech, and I was really interested in internal medicine and gastroenterology, and so the track is you have to do, after medical school, you have to do 3 years of internal medicine residency, and that allows you to do most of the specialties for like the heart, cardiology, like the gut system, which is gastroenterology, which I'm applying to the fellowship now. Kidneys, all of the systems essentially are in internal medicine. That's a 3-year fellowship, 3-year residency program, which I'm in right now, my 3rd year at Duke Hospital. And then in my 3rd year, so I was interested in GI and gut because I like gut physiology and nutrition and diet and how that impacts chronic health and like cancer and things like that. And so there's also like a which you apply your third year of internal medicine residency. I am applying to that now to start another 3 years of training. So that's that.
And then Jonas?
Hey guys, so my story is kind of like simple. I was just always good at computers growing up. And then when I went to college, I started off at the University of Maryland. I was pre-pharmacy. There wasn't so much known about the field of computer science and being a software engineer where it was like fully supported. But eventually, like, my family ended up understanding like my strengths and then helped me pursue just graduating with computer science and becoming a software engineer. What helped me get in the industry though was I had a family relative who basically helped me get an internship sophomore year, and then that internship I kept the whole entire way through college, ended up being my first job. And then from there, once you get your foot in the door in this field, it's pretty easy to move around.
All right, thank you.
And I guess, what is one challenge you guys each have faced in your profession, and then how did you overcome it?
My challenge was honestly just getting my first job, because like when I said, once you get your foot in the door, you can probably move around easily, but figuring out first what I wanted to do, and then like I said, it was COVID when I first started, so no one was really hiring, so and I was a fresh graduate, it was like December 2019, so landing that first job, and then also right now, like trying to move around, it's a little hard, but definitely, like I said earlier, trying to get more transferable skills, so like getting certs or just trying to figure out what it is that you like and making that your, I guess, skill to help you move around, basically.
So I would say in real estate, there's a lot of challenges that you deal with, just because there's a lot of things with the lending side that you have to overcome. A lot of times I deal with a lot of the Eritrean community I help, and so they're self-employed, so getting them approved, a lot of times people aren't aware of what mortgages companies look for and getting you approved for a loan, so a lot of times I'm consulting people and giving them advice on how to do their income taxes, what they need to do as far as how they're claiming their income in order to be able to qualify for those type of loan limits that they want, and making them aware of the different type of programs out there. Because there are a lot of first-time homebuyer programs that people aren't aware of. So some of the challenges I experience is, when they get denied for a loan, having to help them just be positive and try to guide them on what they need to do, and just let them know that I'm very much solution-oriented type of person. So I just try to give them advice on what we can do to maybe do something in the future and not give up necessarily.
So I think the biggest challenge in my role now would be, I meet with doctors every day and educate them on a specific drug and what it can do for their patients. But having said that, my background isn't nowhere near what a doctor is, right? So they've been to school for, Sarah just said, like 12 years. But they've been in school for a very long time, so they're real knowledgeable in the field that they're in, right? So it's me coming from selling copiers 10 years ago to coming in now and saying, hey, this is how it should be, is sometimes a little challenging. So you have to kind of do it in a subtle way where I'm an expert in my field, right? But at the same time, who am I coming in to tell a doctor, hey, do it this way, you should be looking at this, hey, instead of doing it this way, have you thought about this? So just trying to be very subtle, even though you're like, know the information maybe a little bit better, because when they go to school, they're going to school and there's new stuff that happens all the time. And in my particular field, I'm up to date on all of that. So trying to convey that is really the challenge, and that's the hard part, if there is a challenge.
For me, as far as in nursing, there wasn't like that much of an issue as far as like finding a job. There's a huge need for nurses, so that's always there. But for me, like an issue was just kind of like the culture shock a little bit, like, you know, just being raised in that like Eritrean culture and being the only girl and then kind of like being 21 and that kind of environment, like, you know, just kind of like making sure like I knew who I was and making sure I wasn't being too influenced by like maybe like my friends and what was going on. So that was like kind of a little bit, I had to kind of like check myself and making sure that I knew who I was and what was important to me. So that was kind of a little bit of a challenge just at the beginning of it, like right when you like starting like a career, because you're going from like, you know, for me, I was going from like living at home to where like now I'm making good salary and, you know, and like live like being around other people that have their own places and stuff, and we're still with my parents, so those kind of things. So I had to kind of make sure like I knew who I was and making sure I was following that. So that was a little bit challenging initially for me.
For me, number one, I would say as well, like getting into the job market, and even like if you can't find jobs, definitely go for internships, because like most of them they hire you right after. And if not, like you still get those transferable skills. But once I got my foot in the door, for me it's adjusting. You know, coming like going from like high school and middle school where you guys are at to college to then like working a 9-to-5 job. It's a whole different schedule. So just figuring out how life works and figuring out like how you can place your personal life in that. And then as well for me, I wanted a creative job, but I ended up like I'm looking at a computer like 9-to-5. So is that amazing? No. But I am getting transferable skills. So like I said, if you guys don't like what you're doing, whenever you get there, just sit tight quick as much as you can, and then hopefully it'll get you to the next spot where you should be. So, yeah.
For me, two things. The first one, when I go back to school. So going back to school is not easy. The age, when you go to school, the age you find them is, I'm going back to school with my kids sometimes. So it's all challenging. The teacher, how he see you, and even the students, how they see you. So you don't know where your place is. That was the challenge I had. I had to also have to go work and go to school. I was working 5 to 3 work and go to school 6 to 9. I was tired, but I was still doing it. At the school, when the teacher teaches us, when they ask us, most of the students in my class, they were so active. They know the things. They understand faster than me. So that was the challenge. But I never failed the class. I just came, I finished. I have the same certificate that like they have. That's one. So don't be late to go to school. You need to finish it now at your age. Yes. The second one still is the age. So when the company they choose the young. They don't see the talent. They don't care. So they see the age. They won't have them for long here. So that was my challenge, but I still made it. I work at a company. They like me, I like them.
Okay. So as far as challenges, like in the medical journey, honestly, it was all really hard and it was all a struggle. But I think what was at the core of all the struggle was that I lacked good mentors, and like mentorship was really hard. Just like with our Eritrean background, you know, your parents try to support you as much as they can, but you know, they're not going to have, you know, they don't have the knowledge of other people that have like the advanced degrees and like the experiences in the country and things like that. And so when I went to undergrad, I actually like had advisors that literally told me like you should probably reconsider the medical field or like reconsider the major and like try to get other things. And so undergrad, I really struggled with having something that's important really in any field is just having someone that is a good mentor and has experience in the field and can help you throughout your journey. So that was a huge challenge for me, but
so my challenge wasn't so much in my profession. My challenge was school. So throughout like high school, middle school, elementary school, I never studied. So by the time I got to college, trying to learn study habits was the biggest thing for me. So I had to adjust to the college education, learning study habits, and still being able to produce. But once you learn the material and you're constantly practicing the material, it becomes like second nature. And with majority of fields, like as long as you're constantly working in it, you'll adjust to it as best as possible.
So if you guys have touched on it so far, how do you guys think your culture so far and then your faith has shaped why you chose the profession you chose, and then how do you maintain that in your field now?
Culture-wise, I would say honestly it's probably a little harder because our parents are always like doctor, lawyer, whatever, and so trying to figure out what I wanted to do because I went in as a nursing major, and then I realized I didn't like anything science related or health science related, and then I guess navigating my way to figure out what do I like, what can I see myself doing for really the rest of my life or until I retire or whatever God has in store for me. But that's cultural. And then faith-wise, there were a lot of stressful days. Sometimes it's not even just studying while I was in school, or whether it be a long day at work. And while you're in school, if you don't go to school close to family, sometimes that can be a lot. So a lot of things get really heavy. So I try to find my community. When I was in Greensboro, I went to UNCG. So I try to find a community there, and then also I worked on my relationship with God a lot more when I was in college rather than when I was younger, rather than just talking to God with the same purpose that we all know, and having more conversations with God. And then just kind of pushed me in finding my friends that are also on that same path to keep pushing me as well.
So for me, I feel like, as first question being how I feel like my faith I just kept my faith with my prayer. Naturally, I'm just like, I like to help people. So, and I try to feel like, do good by others and good will come. So, and even though really I'm a real estate agent, at the same time, I feel like I'm a mortgage officer. That's because I'm always doing both positions and helping people with getting approved for the lending side of the purchase. So I just I always feel like the money's gonna come regardless. So I just feel like helping people and doing good by people, good will come to you. So I just try to keep myself grounded.
So I think from like the cultural standpoint, what has really helped in my field is like, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but like the fact that we're around like our parents all the time, and some of them might not speak English that well, that it, like in my field at least, like when you're talking to a lot of these doctors, they might be Indian, they might be Pakistan, they're from all over, right? So I think like the ability to talk to our parents, when you're like talking, like if I'm talking to a doctor, I'm really, a lot of times, I observe where he's from, what is their cultural, right? Because you can't talk to an American doctor the same way that you talk to a Habesha doctor or an Indian doctor, or, you have to kind of understand their background. So if I talk to a patient, I'm talking to them like I'm talking to my dad, right? I have to talk slow. I have to make sure my mom understands it, right? Make sure that she understands what I just said, because this might not be her first language, right? So it's the same thing, and I think that kind of helps us. I'll be in the field sometimes, and I'll talk to my coworkers, and we'll be at a doctor's office, and they'll talk to him like he's just an American, whatever. But I'm like, you can't talk. He's not going to respond that way, right? So like just understanding our culture helps you understand other cultures, and you're kind of compassionate to that. So I think that's where it would kind of help me.
As far as culture for me, I feel like having my background helps me be a better nurse. Like I feel like I'm able to care for them like differently than like if I didn't have my background. Just because like I feel like okay, I take a little bit more time like Medhanie is saying with them and just making sure like they might not fully understand it, make sure they have an interpreter and those kind of things like or like culturally like their family might not share that information with them. So just kind of understanding my culture helped me do a better job like as far as like my career. And also like just in our culture we're taught to like be respectful and take care of one another and all that stuff, and so that helps you a lot as far as like dealing with teammates, dealing with like coworkers. We have a beautiful culture, and honestly take that everywhere you go because it'll help you in the long run, like as far as if it's dealing with people one-on-one. Like that personality or that background will help you out a lot. And that's how it's been for me.
My answer is a little bit of everybody's. So we do have a beautiful culture, and it's very focused on community. And at my time in college, I was part of the Eritrean Ethiopian Student Association, and we collab with a bunch of other cultural clubs. And so I would say, like, picking back off what someone had said earlier, it kind of makes you a bit of a world citizen, and in the workplace, it makes you more palatable. Like, you can talk to different types of people, and there's that connection there, rather than being, I guess, scared to approach different kinds of people. Faith-wise, similar to what was earlier said, I connected more to my faith during college, which was a great time for me, a great experience. And it definitely, I feel like as you're growing in your faith, it kind of takes away your worries of, will this work out for me, will it not? And you just put it in God's hands, and it kind of just gives you a reassurance that it'll be all right. So that's my culture and my faith answer.
Faith and what was the question was how did your Eritrean upbringing base shape your personal or professional choices? It actually didn't help me. I'm serious. Our culture is heavy, very heavy. It's very difficult to express it or to live it in the job side. Not here. Here it is easy here. It's because we are the same. But on the job place, very, very heavy. Because our culture as Eritrean, our culture and faith is mixed. We don't separate it. Here you can separate it. You don't have to talk about God at the job place. But in between you, if I don't talk about God or about culture, about our faith, the people don't like me or they put some pressure on me. So, and I have to help someone. I have to. That's Eritrean culture. When I say I have to, it's forcing me, it's pressuring me to help whoever. It doesn't have to be my brother or my sister. Outside, I have to. It is in my blood. I cannot avoid it. But here, you guys maybe, or the Americans, it's easy for you to avoid something that doesn't bother you. You don't have to. But as Eritrean blood, you have to. If you don't do it, you are Hema. So that's in our blood. So this makes this very difficult. But we still raising you guys. So we are good people, and we still have challenges, but we are still making it. So the Eritrean culture, faith didn't help me. Somehow, I don't know how, it made me strong. To come here, to make it here to America, I passed through many countries, many cultures. I saw a lot of bad stuff, but I'm here. And I came here, I fight against that I talked earlier, to be in a class with young people, like 18, 20, 23, and to compete with these kids was very difficult. Over that, the culture presses you, so you have to help your parents back home. Here, you have to make it, you have to make money, everything. I hope you understand that.
Yeah.
So for me, as far as the culture component, I think there's, to be honest, like a plus and a minus with the culture. I feel like with my medical journey, a lot of people in the community knew that I was trying to be a doctor and was on this long journey. And so it was kind of like intimidating and stressful to like kind of have to deal with that and have this like close-knit community that's so aware of your journey. And so, sorry, what was I saying? So yeah, so the community, like we're lucky to have this tight-knit community that is so in tune with each other's journeys and, you know, always looking out for each other. And I think despite how hard the journey was and that burden of having that community that's so aware of your journey, I think that it was really reassuring and it was really nice to know that I have that community support. So despite like the struggle that it was, I really appreciated like how many people would constantly come up to me and tell me that they're proud of me and like are, you know, like praying for me and are just really supportive in general. So not everyone that goes through certain professional careers have communities like we do. So I think the culture that we have, our tight-knit culture, was like very formative for like me being able to be successful and become a doctor. And then as far as the faith component, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the culture, like having the supportive community. I think that patience was something that was really important, just again for the long, strenuous journey, but also like in practice of medicine, like you're gonna have really hard days and you're gonna have hard and difficult patients. And I think that out of the patience that God grants us with most of the time is important. And again, like with a difficult journey, like things may not always go your way. You might have like a set plan. And I think my thing for me was like, I am very type A and I want things very organized and go a certain way, but God has told me many times and have told me like, it's not your will that will be done, it's God's will that will be done. And that's like what keeps me motivated. Like I might have a plan for myself, but like God has a better plan for me, and it's always God's will. And so, yeah.
So for me, it was not necessarily the community, but my direct household. So I was the youngest, so in terms of my motivation, I had my older brother and my older sister to like motivate me to want to be successful and continue to like strive for more, just the sole competition. But I also had my mother who, like, anytime that I would lose faith or want to quit, she would always tell me the same thing, like, sinahan na iska o daya. So basically, like, just grind it out, and the minute that you're done grinding it out, it's a lifetime full of happiness type of thing. But anytime I would lose faith, anytime I would lose motivation, the thing that always helped me was my mother in terms of helping me understand that this is just a small aspect of the whole entire life. And you just have to grind through things, you have to deal with this, but you can't let it deter you from the overall outcome that you want.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you so much for sharing that. I think I was just going to make a comment. When we think think about trials and everything, sometimes people, when you have plans and you know God's timing is always the best, and even when we might not feel it or see it at that moment. But I think about that verse, Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the plans I have you, says declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, to give you hope, a better future." So that's a beautiful verse, and I feel like that I wanted to share with you guys and kind of relates. And thank you so much. You guys are amazing. You persevered, and yeah, I'll go back to the questions.
So then I guess with our culture being supportive of us and our paths, on top of that, we do also have expectations sometimes. I guess, what advice would you give to the youth trying to balance cultural expectations with their career goals or ambitions?
I would say utilize the people around you. So like if you feel kind of like, I forgot who was saying this, but like we don't have the best resources when it comes to our parents. So, but we do have a community. So when you do. Okay, yeah, so, and then also making sure that you stay true to yourself and doing what you want to do, because you don't want to, go to school or start a job and feel like, oh, I actually hate this and I'm just doing it because someone told me that there's a lot of money in it, or, this is something that would make my parents or my family proud, which we all want to do, essentially, but just making sure that you stay true to who you are and do what you want to do outside noises. You just kind of ignore them, and also, again, utilizing your resources, like all of us up here, or, your brothers and sisters, aunts, uncles, and asking them questions, because we are lucky to have that, versus other people who don't have that.
I would say, I remember when I first started out in lending, and Habesha would tell me, "How did you try to do nursing?" Like at the time, mortgages wasn't really a thing that was popular or common in our culture. So I was discouraged with me to even go that route. But I chose to ignore it, and I will say to you, follow your heart. Money will come, but sometimes it's just a lack of knowledge in our community where they just think nurses and lawyers is the only job that's going to make you successful, which is not the case. So just follow your passion and your heart, and I feel like the money will come. That's just it.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say do what you want as long as you know what you want, right? So like our parents are really saying be a doctor, be a nurse, be this, be that, because that's what they know, that's what they've seen, and that's what they just really want to guide you, right? So if they don't know about an attorney, they can't guide you to be an attorney, right? If they know that a doctor's a path and a good path, then they'll say, hey, be a doctor, and they can be along that journey with you. But that doesn't mean you can't be an attorney, right? That doesn't mean you can't be whatever, but just, if you're gonna do it, just have a plan, don't quit. And I think they really are gonna be happy with whatever you choose. They just want you to choose something and kind of stick with it. But just know that in all these career paths, as we've told our story, it goes like this. Right? You'll get to the end eventually. It may take a little bit of time. Y'all know the tortoise and the hare. Y'all know that story, right? It may take some time, but eventually you'll get there. And I think with our parents, they're just trying to guide you, and that's the guidance they know. So in terms of your career, like I said, just follow your heart, do what you want. It's not about the money. The money will come. And the good thing with our community is like, if you mess up, you got a whole army right behind you to help you, right? It's not like you're getting kicked out until you get married anyways.
Yeah, I think I would say, like, the key thing is just getting started, just start something. And it's okay if you don't finish the 4 years. It's okay if you don't go to, like, big schools. If you end up have to start at a community college, that's okay. I would just say, like, just start something, start taking 2 classes if that's what you think you can handle. And just know that, you want people. You don't want someone to always just say yes to you. You want people that's going to say, no, I think maybe do it this way, or maybe no, that's not correct. You know, you don't want people to just say yes, yes to you, because that's not the real world. So I would just say, like, use your resources. We're here to support you in any way we can, and just kind of get started. You know, and if it takes 4 years, if it takes 3 years, or whatever amount that it takes, don't worry about that. Just deal with a semester at a time. Like, one semester at a time, that's down, then you go to the next semester, and just so on. And and a lot of people, the first couple of years are your prerequisites anyway, so it really, doesn't really matter. And and so kind of start thinking of maybe what you want to do like early. But like I said, even if you don't know what you want to do, I would just go ahead and get started. And then utilize your brothers and sisters, utilize any of us. We're here to help in any way that we can, in any capacity that we can. We all been kind of where you guys are at. And so, we're here, we're available to you.
Yeah, I'm grateful for my parents because maybe your age, I did get the nods of lawyer, or are you going to be a lawyer, or are you going to be a doctor? But then as I entered college, it was more, and it's always been a constant theme of they just want you to be at a better place than they are. No matter what that looks like. And even for me, whenever I graduated and I was looking for jobs, when I got the one that I have now, I always had my mom because she was stressed. She was like, oh my gosh, we need to get a job. And then I told her, no, I got it for you. Sis, I don't know, I guess, do mom, look at me. And she was like, for me, this is for you. And I was like, oh, okay, so you know what? I need to make sure that whatever I do is not to appease them in some sort of I guess golden child, or they're for all your struggles and all your sacrifices, I've done it. For you guys, I know the pressure's a lot sometimes, but you being here, you being alive, that's a gift in itself. You guys being in a better position than they are, the opportunities you guys have is usually more than they had where you were at. So it's more about just making sure you follow your heart, whatever you do. Don't do anything to appease your elders. I mean, obviously to an extent, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to live with your decisions. And if you look around and you don't like the life that you're living, that's gonna be on you guys. So just make sure that you're in a better place than where your parents were at, and hopefully that's also a place that you want to be at as well. And then it works both ways. So yeah.
I don't know if I can give you advice, but I can say how I am here. I already said it, but as parents, as they say, we say you have to read, you have to study, you have to do this, you have to do that. But if we don't show you, it's going to be hard for you to do it. If I was a doctor, it would be easy for me to convince my son to read, to study. But if I am a truck driver, to tell my son to read, I'm not here, I'm not at home, so it's going to be hard for him because you don't see. So what you see in your parents might not be what you want, but you need to take how they work hard to live. You know our history. So some of you guys, you were born out of Eritrea, somewhere in the Sahara. So some of you in Sudan, Ethiopia, wherever your parents were. But they make it here, they bring you here. So that is very strong faith. So I want you guys to take that from your parents. And other thing, discipline. Discipline makes discipline challenge talent. If someone in my job site have talent, if he doesn't have discipline, I see it in my workplace. They are more talented than me, but Friday they want party. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Monday they come at 10. I can accept. They are more talented than me, but so discipline always makes you competent and strong. I just want to give you that one.
Sorry, I had to step away. It was a question about advice.
Yeah, it was, I guess it's advice you give to balance cultural expectations and then your own career goals.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you too well. I'm just trying to find it on the sheet.
The question was, how would you balance like cultural expectations for like, I guess, employment or jobs versus your own goals?
Oh, yes, okay. So, I was, like I said before, I wasn't interested in medicine when I first went to college. I was interested in law. I wanted to be a lawyer, but I was influenced by my parents and my uncles to go into medicine. So, as all of us, we get pressured to do medicine and all those kind of professional fields. But I ultimately liked medicine, and it was a good choice for me, and it was a good fit. But I think that I wanted to please my parents and do what they told me to do, so I went into medicine. But I think that is not the right thing to do. You should not do that, and I think that, we always have the cultural pressures of do what is considered, the white collar jobs, the good professions like medicine, law, engineering. But we're not all made to do those kind of fields, and I think that we all have gifts and special talents that are particular to things that are not those kind of fields. And so I think that, there are so many other professions and jobs that you can do that you can be just as successful, or if not more successful, in those fields that are like medicine, law, engineering, etc. And so I really encourage you all to figure out what you like and what you're interested in, without the pressures of the cultural pressures of being, the perfect image of what your parents or the community expects you to. And I think that with that, it's easier said than done to do what you like and figure out what you like. But I think I recommend you exploring lots of different things about yourself and the different career fields that there are out there, kind of like we're doing in this panel here, to kind of see what you're interested in. Yeah, I don't know if that quite answers the question, but what I want to
Answer the questions.
For my advice, it'd be what a lot of these people are saying, don't rush to choose your major. The first 2 years that you get into college, you got time to understand it. You have time to adjust and see what you like and you don't like. Don't rush to choose your major, and don't choose a major just because you think there's money in it or something. They were saying, the money will eventually come as long as you work hard in whatever major you choose. Just don't rush into anything, and when you do start something, have a plan to see it through. Don't start something and then just quit halfway through. Like I was saying, I think a lot of our parents, they see certain fields, they see people successful, so they just want the same for us. There's a lot of fields that they don't know, and they just have to be educated in. So you shouldn't see that as a frustrating thing with my parents want to do X, Y, Z, or want me to do X, Y, Z. You should be able to educate them and tell them why it's a good reason for you to do X, Y, Z. Because you'll be more successful in something that you love versus something that you don't love.
Alright, thank you. I think you guys said some really good points too, as far as having grace for our culture too, because they did do a lot. Our parents did. They put a foundation. They put faith as well, how to be a Christian and how to overcome our struggles as well. So I think you guys said that as well. Discipline is very, very important. I wanted to highlight that, which is very discipline is, without discipline, you won't be able to get to your next step. So what we're gonna do is kind of combine the questions for the second round. And if you feel like you don't really have anything to say, it's fine. You don't say anything at all. For the second round, what's a misconception people often have about your profession or industry? And what do you wish someone had told you before you entered your field? Okay.
The misconception is I'm making 20 or 30,000 on every sale. That's not how it works. So there's, it's a percentage, and there's a lot of fees that we pay as agents. So that is probably what the biggest misconception is. I don't do it necessarily for the money. I honestly love what I do. I look like it's such a rewarding position. So that's.
Yeah, so I would say misconception as well as people just do it for the money. But I actually love what I do. I love improving patient lives. I love talking to physicians. I love talking about the human body. And it's just interesting and fun, and every day is new, every day is different, every day is, you like, at the end of the day, you're like there to help a patient, and that's like so rewarding. And I think the misconception is you're just there for a sale or something like that, but I know personally, like I would never, like I've had plenty of patients that a doctor would say, hey, I want to put them on your drug, and I would say, you know what, I don't know if this is the right patient. Right. So ultimately, if you do the right thing for the patient, I feel like you win at the end. But it's so rewarding in terms of just being able to do something for someone that's sick.
I think I would say the misconception, like with nursing, is that like, I don't know, you're like changing people's diaper or that kind of thing. But I'll be honest with you, that's a small portion of it. For me, it's been extremely rewarding because you get to kind of see people at their like worst points, but then you feel like you make an impact in their life, and so you kind of see them at their worst, and then you see them progressively getting better, and then just kind of like having, especially with some of the ones that are older, like when they start telling you about their life and what they've been through and all that stuff, it's been very impactful for me. And then yeah, we're compensated, but the money's not that great to wear. But like as far as like, it's very rewarding. You feel like you're making a difference. You feel like you're helping someone. Because not like our culture, some people don't have family, so you're like their family at their worst point. So you're and sometimes they're like dying. You're sitting and like I've been there before where like, my shift has ended, but I know that something might happen in the next hour or so, and I would stay with them because I don't want them to be alone. So it could be very rewarding.
So for me, a misconception, I thought it would deal with creative writing more. It does, but I guess misconception, I guess it's just, at least for what I'm doing right now, is that it's not as creative. I wish what someone had told me prior, is that it's very repetitive work. So if you don't like doing the same thing every single day, that's where you pivot. So thankfully I'll be pivoting. And I do want to highlight that I think I'm like one of the youngest on this panel, and it's nice to hear that people next to me like love their jobs and their passions, but that takes time and experience to get to. So just understanding that like your first job out the gate, if you don't like that, that's fine. It's all about just like that journey. Like Brahan said, like it's like this. So right now I'm like this. And hopefully they like this. So yeah, so just take your time. But yeah, it's more about just taking your time with it.
Still, I don't know if my idea helps you about misconception. Because you are too young for my ideas, but I want to still say. So, as an HVAC technician, I have to go houses. So, fix or repair the HVAC or the AC system in the house. So, sometimes it's very hard to find the issue. It can take you like 4 hours or 5 hours. Sometimes you give up. So it happened to me. That was my first time from Habesha. They called me and they had the issue. All the family was outside for a week, so they had to repair it. They called the big companies. They told them appointment was for a week, so they had to wait 2 weeks I tried it, but I could not fix it. I went home, I slept, but when I sleep, still coming to my mind. So I called them the next morning, what they did. They were still in very difficult situation. Then I told them I'm coming back tonight. I went there, no one was there in the house. So that makes for me easier. There was no pressure. I was by myself in the house. So I was going up and down for 4 hours. At the end, I fixed it. Was repaired. So the satisfaction I got that time was not even worth of 2,000. So I want to tell that satisfaction, that idea to the customer, but they don't understand. So I still told the price. I told them, this is the price, but it's okay, you can give me this much. They were happy. The conception, the misconception on that is the satisfaction you get when you do something for someone. That comes from your culture, the Eritrean culture. Let's go back to our culture now. So God is in our blood, especially as my generation was also. So our culture and our faith is mixed. You can't separate it. Here you can separate it. You don't have to bring your culture out of this. You don't have to. But I have to. It doesn't go out from me. It's in me. It presses me if I don't do it. So that's the misconception we get here as my generation.
Jonas, do you want to answer?
No, I don't really have any misconceptions about my work. I feel like a lot of the misconceptions are actually true. Like, a lot of people in my work are nerds, typically in sweatpants all the time. Like, it's kind of accurate.
Jonas, we just think you hack us all day. You know that.
No denying that, I guess,
Probably not. Also, I have like a question, but not really. Do you feel like the misconceptions that people have is the reason why you got into your field, or no? You can just shake your head down. No. Do you feel like the misconceptions people have about your field is the reason why you got into it in the first place?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I thought it was more creative work. And then the first thing off the gate was, oh wow, it's not too much of that.
Okay, good. Okay, next question. Have you ever faced discrimination or cultural misunderstanding in your career because of your background, and how did you handle it?
I haven't heard experienced any of that.
I don't think you experience it, but I think you see it, right? So I don't know. So like my company is 150 of us, or me, right? It's 2 black people. One in me and then one in Las Vegas somewhere. My previous company was medical device sales, and I think it was like maybe 200 of us. It was three black people. So, but I don't think I've ever. No, I haven't felt it, but you see it. I personally haven't felt it though.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. Like, you do see it. Like in our field, like you would see more the nurses are maybe like white, and then like the CNAs are more, African American or other descent. So you do see that. But like the thing is, initially, I feel like once they get to kind of know you and know your work ethic, and and they see you, then it doesn't really play as much as a factor, but yeah, I mean, you do see it.
Thankfully, I don't experience that. I think my corporate workplace, it's very diverse in age and ethnicity. So if anything, I'll walk down the hall and I'll see like 4 black girls, or I mean, even one time like I was fasting and they had food for us, and I had to let them know like, oh, like instead of saying fasting, I was like, oh, I'm vegan, but I can't. And then one of the girls was actually Greek Orthodox, and so I was talking to her about that. Everyone is very inviting. So thankfully I haven't, though I did expect it. I'm very grateful that the workplace I'm at right now is really nice.
Yes, a lot of times. So that comes also from our culture, helping people. So in the job place, so you see one of your colleague needs help, you help him or help her. You help her once, again you help her, third time you help. So you always help as our culture. So when you always help, they think that's your duty, always. So if you don't help them once, then comes the problem. They fight. I mean, they come to you when you don't help them. So I don't know how to solve this one, but still I see it in me, or also in other people like me when I talk to them. So that comes from the culture. Again, our culture is very heavy. So let's say a diver dives into the ocean. The diver wants to enjoy the deep ocean, right? You want to see clear the animals, but many sea plants stuff, he cannot see clear. Our culture is the same like that here in America, very hard. So we still making it, we still struggling, but we still making it. We are strong people.
For me, you don't necessarily hear the discrimination or anything like that, but you kind of feel it, you kind of see it. But like Gigi was saying, like when they learn your work ethic, they learn that you can produce just like anybody else. That kind of subsides, and you're able just to be yourself type of thing. But initially, like based off of how I talk, how I dress, and how I am, like I was bound to get some type of discrimination eventually. But you can't let it like deter you in any type of way. You just gotta take it in stride and just keep moving.
All right, so go to the next question. How do you stay connected to your community while managing a busy professional life? Anybody wants to answer that?
It's kind of small, but it's important. As you get older, you realize the youth doesn't really go to the events unless you're a lot younger, or I don't want to say a lot older, but you're older. So just making sure you show up even to stuff like this, or whether it just be a celebration of any sort, that really helps, and you get to see people that you might not have seen in a long time, or just making that effort to get together and hang out, whatever the case is, start a group chat, whatever. But really just going to events, in my opinion. That's my small intake or outtake.
Well, I'm dealing with Thomas shows all day. I love it actually. just because 90% of my clients are Habesha, which I love. I love helping them, educating them on what's available out there, and helping them become homeowners. So I stay connected that way.
Yeah, I would say just going to events, doing community stuff. Like I remember, and I'll tell the story real quick though. But So when I was in college and I went to Winston-Salem State, it was me, Medhanie, Kedan, and her brother, Sammy. It was like 11 of us, right? It was all Habashans. And so I was older than them by 1 year, right? So when I was there by 1 year, I got some friends or whatever, but then, Medhanie and all them ended up coming. So it was like 11 of us. They all came the same year. So after that, we were just all together. I'm talking about always. We would eat together, we would go out together, we would party together, we would do everything together. And it was fulfilling because like that's really all you need. So like in a time where even you're in a whole nother state, in a whole nother, doing your own thing, you always got your family, you always got the support, you always got, and to this day, we do everything together now. So much so that my friends used to always be like, man, you don't hang us around us anymore. Like, what's going on? I'm like, well, I got my family here, But like now, like this is the same family that if you needed something, they're gonna be here for. If I need something, I can call my sister, I can call my brother, I can call her brother, I can call Jonas, I can call whoever, and I know that because we're all deeply in the same faith, the same everything, that they understand, right? And it was, and I'll go back one more story. I'll tell you. When we were kids, we used to always have my friend that used to always come over, and he'd be like, "Man, I wish I was a Habesha." Right? His name was Ryan, and so much so that he named himself Tesfadaber. Right? So like even to this day, if you ever see the Habesha person, he always goes. He'd be like, "Hey," like he went to y'all store, and even at this store, when he goes to Hoptown, he'd be like, "Hey, what's up? You remember me?" He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Tesfadaber." And but like you might not understand it, but people love our culture. They want to be a part of something. They want that, right? And I remember I joined a fraternity, but I remember somebody asking me, it might have been somebody in this room, somebody asked me, "Hey, should I join a fraternity?" I was like, "Man, you can if you want, but really, like, this is your fraternity. Like, this is it, right?" So, like, at the end of the day, when everything's gone and, you always have the community to lean back to. And that's why I always say, go back to your community, come to these events, make friends, because the same bonds that y'all gonna have right now, you're probably still gonna have it 10 years from now.
Yeah, I would say like the same thing, like just, I really don't have a lot of friends outside like my cousins and my like Habesha friends. Like I don't really, because I hadn't really needed. I mean, I have work friends, but like outside of work, this is my friends and my family. So like, and like at work, I've been there for a while, so like they know like all, like especially when it's summertime, they're like, "Oh, it's wedding season," like you guys always have so much family events and that kind of thing. So a lot of people like, even for us, we're like a little bit busy, there's something going on every single weekend, but like for other people, they're like, "Oh my God, you guys are all so lucky. You guys, like you have people that you can count on," and not everybody has that. So like appreciate that, and like he's saying, like I have the same friends that I'm close with 20 years ago that I was close with now, like, and then there's someone that I could depend on if I was to need something, or if I needed help with something, or help with organization or idea about something. So
I would say for me, I've gotten in the habit of having of staying in touch with my community, because being in East, I was in East for 4 years basically. So then leaving college, I already made a lot of friends from Charlotte who I didn't know were in Charlotte until I went to Raleigh. So then coming back after you graduated, I already have those ties. So I've already gotten in the habit of getting accustomed to seeing people at least once a week, and making sure that these are meaningful hangouts. Nothing that's superficial. I would say this is not the best thing, but we have a group chat, and there's one guy for work, he's a taxman, one's at IT, one works at Home Depot, one's a doctor, not doctor, medical field, and we just, if we have time throughout our work days, we chat, and honestly, it keeps me going, because sometimes if work is too repetitive, or if I have a break, you can always open that group chat and you can always talk to someone in there, and it just keeps your days going by. So I would say that, yeah.
Before I come to the connection, I want to say to the first question before about the misunderstanding in the job side. Also comes the accent, the English accent to my generation. So that makes it very hard to be easily understood by other people. To this question, connect to your community, I try to disconnect myself. But you see, this guy, he always asks where we are. You need to come here. You need to help. So anyway, I'm here. So I cannot escape. As I told you earlier, I am going to never escape from my culture. It's in my blood. I'm a little bit proud of it. Sometimes it doesn't help me, so it's always in struggle. Because we are in a foreign country, far away from our culture, tradition, wherever we grow up. So for my professional life, I think I've already said it. It just made me strong, tough guy. That's it. That helped me, my culture, nothing else. But this toughness hurts me sometimes too. I'm tough to myself. So I want to advise you guys, if you are tough to yourself, you got to be easy to yourself sometimes. And you got to maybe Father can preach at some time. You got to forgive yourself too. If you forgive yourself with talking with God, things going to be easier too.
For me, there was a certain point where I tried to overall just disconnect from the community. This is like after high school, beginning of college, and the comment that Brian just said about him telling somebody I was trying to join a fraternity, like what's the point? Like you already have what people want with the fraternity. He told me that comment like 13 years ago. And he told me basically like the reason why people join fraternities is they're looking for some type of family, some type of brotherhood. You have that just being Air Tree. Like you already have the community, you have an extended family, you have a lot of cousins who aren't your cousins. You have people that will do anything for you and drop everything just to help you at any point. So the way I tried to stay with the community as much is trying just to help and like guide anybody that I feel like is actually trying to get better. But you should always have conversations with just older people, regardless if they're in your field or not, because you never know like what they might say that might stick with you for a long time.
I feel like an easy way to like, I don't know what I'm thinking about when you guys are saying, it's like, you know when you go grocery shopping and you need to get stuff, right? You gotta check what you got at home first, right? Because it'll save you a lot of trouble and money. So I feel like that's the kind of way you can look at the Habesha community. Like, there's so much that you just don't know. As long as you take the time, you have so many resources and everybody and who are willing to help you and invest in you. And then
I guess Abby touched on it so far, but how have you guys found ways to use your career to give back to your community here or back home? How do you?
Yeah, I've kind of already said it. I told it mostly how much I was connecting with the community through my career. Anybody else want to add? How do you, within your career, how do you stay connected to the community and give back?
Oh, well, so the give back part is just like, it's really to like the fresh people that are coming out of college. I was telling Ida earlier, it's like, really if you know what you're doing, it ain't that hard to find a job that you want. But you just gotta do it, right? So like even at your age, let's just say you wanted, so you're like 16, 17, 18, or your age, let's just say younger, right? And I'm just giving an example here. But let's say you wanted a job. You know how easy it would be for you to go find a job? Let me tell you how to do it. You go, let's just say you want to go to Harris Teeter. You go to Harris Teeter. Anybody that goes to Harris Teeter, they're going to say, hey, fill out an application, okay? You fill out, but what you want to do is you want to go, hey, can I speak to the hiring manager? You're gonna go to the hiring manager, and he's gonna say, hey, my name is Burhan. I want to, get a job here. I want to be a cashier. He's gonna tell you the same thing he's gonna tell everybody else. Hey, go online. You're gonna fill out an application. Boom, perfect. So I'm going online. I'm gonna fill out an application. 3 days later, I'm gonna go back to that same hiring manager. Hey, I met with you 3 days ago. My name is Burhan, and you told me to fill out an application. I already filled out an application. I just wanted to know what's the status of the application. He's gonna say, well, the same standard answer that he gives everybody. Well, you gotta wait, until we look at it. We're gonna go to the through your resume. That takes about 2 weeks. Okay, perfect. We'll go back in 2 weeks to the same hiring manager and say, hey, I came here the first time. You told me to do the application. I filled out an application. By now, this man's gonna think like, holy crap, I don't know who this is, but we gotta hire. What's your name again? And then you'll get the job. But so you take that same thing to any field. Right? You find a hiring manager and you go in there, and whether it's on LinkedIn or whatever, you do the exact same thing. It doesn't matter what the field is. Or find someone in there to get you in the door. So all you gotta do is get in the door. But if you're consistent in doing stuff that other people aren't gonna do, because if you're just filling out an application on Indeed or whatever, like that's not gonna work. If you're going to the grocery store and just filling out an application, that's not gonna work. But you have to do stuff that, because you gotta think, even as a cashier, they're probably gonna have 50 applicants for some or 100 applicants for some. But there's probably only gonna be 1 or 2 that keeps talking to that same hiring manager saying, hey, X, Y, Z. Right? So just do more, and it's not even that hard. I didn't know the question. Oh, yeah.
How I try to give back is, even just, I feel like even at work, those are like my community also. So one of my biggest passion is just I love seeing people do better. Just improving ourselves. And he was saying he was driving a truck, but he wanted something that he could hold on to that no one could take away from him, and that's education, right? So my biggest thing is even at work, if they're CNAs, I have meetings with them and try to encourage them to go to school, to become a nurse or whatever else that they wanted to do. Because there's a lot of resources out there, whether it's tuition assistant or, whether it's so there's a lot of things out there. You just have to kind of utilize it. So, and that's how I'm trying to kind of give back even with my community, just coming here and just offering my assistance. And what I would say is while you guys are young, whether it's your first year in college or even now, I would say volunteer, because that looks good on your resume. And what that does is it opens up for you, as far as hey, let's say if you thought, okay, maybe nursing for me, maybe not. I would say go ahead and volunteer at the hospital and kind of see what people do, or come and shadow with someone. If you're interested in that, I could definitely help you with that. If you wanted to be a doctor, if you wanted to shadow a doctor, if you wanted to be a respiratory therapist, if you wanted to do that, just vice versa. If you wanted to be a pharmacist before you actually go to school and do that, and maybe you could see what a day in their life looks like, and if that's something you want to do. So that's how I want to give back. That's actually one of my biggest passion right now is how do I give back to you guys? Because back when I was your age, there wasn't a lot of people that were professional that we were aware of. So I just kind of stumbled into my profession because a friend of mine was doing it. But for you guys, I wanna be available to you guys. I wanna give you that resources to you. And like I said. I know with our parents and stuff, sometimes it's a big pressure to go to big schools and things like that. And I would say my advice to you is it doesn't really matter where you go, as long as you're going somewhere, right? As long as you're starting somewhere, and you'll get to wherever you want to get to. But I would say don't waste your time. Just get started, and then you'll get there.
Alright, so because of my years, their answers are better than mine right now. But in the future, I would love to give back to my community. I feel for right now, what that looks like for someone who's post-grad or freshly out of college. For me, it's I do want to get myself in the best possible position to where
if a Habesha girl looks at me, it's more of like, okay, she's doing something in that field, I can do that as well. I think representation goes a long way. That's my goal in that. And also, in the end goal, I would love to work something with nonprofit or just something where I can give back to my country, my people. Just not there yet since we just started this journey.
So in our culture again, to say I did this to my community, they don't support it. Our culture doesn't support that. You say something that you help people, right? But for me, I have to say thank you to Simran. She gave back to the community. I am the result. My career is giving back to your community result of Simran. So she is giving, but the first guy she helped was me. And thank you, Simran, by the way. Personally, me, starting leaving my country, I never stopped giving to my community what I know. I grew up most of my time, my life, in a Franciscan community or college, or how do you say that? So I grew up religious, very religious. I supposed to have that stuff with our body, but I did not stop giving to my community in Sudan, Libya, Europa too. When I come here, I tried my best to give, but here America is very, very different, and I'm a little bit far from giving. But I'm just starting as a technician, as an HVAC technician. So I'm still like little kid, technically in the HVAC stuff, but I have potential, and I hope I'm going to help to my community too. By the way, to your parents, your dads like me, they are still driving truck. I know they don't like it. I know that from my life. They have to do something. I am the example. It's maybe like the web, the spider web. It is covering them. You just put your hand like that, you destroy it. So maybe it is like that. I am the example. Friday she came to our house, Simran. She came to our house just to visit us. And I was not actually at home. She was talking to my wife, and I came late, actually parked my truck, came late to house and talked to her with her son. And she asked me, what you do? I told her, I'm a truck driver, but I want to do HVAC. And I'm doing it. My class is in Pennsylvania. I go to Pennsylvania having my truck, the 18-wheel. I park it, go to school, and come back here, or Texas. Come back the other week, the next week, go to school. That was my life, and I told her. Then she made it easy for me. It was like the spider web. Boom, 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 finish. So I started Monday, 3 months, I'm HVAC technician. So send to your parents, maybe they are driving trucks or whatever they are doing. You need to tell them. They can call me, I won't tell them.
You want to answer Dr. Sarah? I also just wanted to take the time to introduce Dr. Desvalde and Dr. Daniel. They're back here in the crowd. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
for coordinating this program. My name is Callrge. I'm a medical doctor. I work with volunteers. My field of practice is cardiology.
Hello everybody, how are you? I was really surprised to see the audience. I hear they're really the experts, and these are the expectants. When you see me now, I'm very old. So I have to start from the beginning, being like as your age. So anyway, my name is Daniel. What you were saying, that the accent is the big problem for me and as well as for everybody here. But anyway, to start, my name is Daniel, and we'll have a little bit of fun. That's our show. Thank you. Coming Alem.
I guess we're just gonna go ahead and open to the crowd. So if any of you guys had any questions for any of our panelists up here, you can ask at this time. It can be about anything, like whether why they chose it, any questions you might have, high school related, college related, choosing a major.
So I just had a question about like, how was it, what was it like meeting new people there? Like, was it hard for you to like socialize with people when you just started a job?
So for me, for my job, it's an internship, but sorry, I'm trying to lay it out in my mind. Basically, there's like 11 interns, and they're all in different fields. And I didn't expect for people to be kind or inviting. I honestly thought it was gonna be like a hi for the interns, that's it. It's my first corporate job, and I'm used to like seeing The Office or stuff like this, like very dreary, very gray. I didn't think it was gonna be a place where personality could be showcased or connections could be made. But it was honestly like, yeah, and also they're my age, so I can only speak to the time that I'm in. But everyone was super inviting. If anything, I was the one hesitant to make friends just because I thought working a 9 to 5 kind of meant you had to be like about your P's and Q's, like clock in, work, clock out, that's it. But it's actually a place where you can definitely make friends. Even for me, like people are talking about, do you want to make like plans to play pickleball? Is that the name? Pickleball after. And so I think if you can find, I mean, it's not in every workplace, but if you're blessed enough to have coworkers that you guys have things in common with in the workplace and out, it's never a bad thing to make that like a part of your community outside work, because that just helps benefit your life if they're all, you know, aligned where you're wanting to go and your beliefs. But
I was just gonna say, what grade are you in? Going to 6th grade? 6th? Okay. So I would say it gets easy every day. Like as far as socializing, it's kind of like the exact same as what you're gonna experience in the first day of 6th grade. Well, let's go back to 5th grade. So when you were in 5th grade, first day of 5th grade, you were kind of like nervous probably, right? You have some friends that you know, but mostly they may be new people. And then the next day, it gets better. The next day, it's easier to socialize. The next day, you start knowing more names. By the end of summer, when summer's about to start, you don't want school to end. But you probably want it to end. But it's the same thing. Every day gets easier. That doesn't matter if you're going to school, if you're starting a new job. You're always going to be somewhat slightly nervous because anything that's new, you got to get used to. But that's good, right? So you always just want to do new things, so then you're not afraid of it anymore. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that, you know, you were kind of afraid of even people around here to talk to, but now you guys are like best friends. So same thing.
I was gonna ask for all the doctors, during school to become a doctor, what obstacles or just like what was your experience during school to become a doctor?
I think my training experience is different from here. I'm a foreign medical graduate from Africa, so it is very different from here. To give you a perspective, here is more competitive in the US compared to where I grew up. So in my situation, in my condition, just you have to be good in your class, or usually they take to medical field on or like engineering, pharmacy, school. It is very relatively competitive, but we were selected from high school. So I don't have a bachelor's degree, I have only a medical degree. So from high school to medical school, but here in the US it is very different. You have to have a bachelor's degree in most circumstances, and you have to have to get the M. There's some tests that would help you to apply and be competitive with other students. I think somebody who had years experience can say more about this. But what it matters is if you are determined to do that. In my experience, medical school is not difficult. What requires is dedication. You have to be patient to sit and read, and you shouldn't be calm. If you are in a hurry to graduate and to start a job, well, that's not for you. It requires patience, but at the end of the day, it pays off. If that's your goal, you will achieve it. So most people can achieve it. They achieve it immediately. So I have medical. I am in my practice now. I am part of medical school. I have medical students who rotate with me, and these are some of them they get to medical school immediately, but some of them they don't get accepted. Then what they do is they keep trying. They may do some master's degree in between, the Master of Public Health or other master in health science or different that make them more competitive to get to medical school. So it may take a year or so, but at the end, for most people who are interested to join medical school, they can achieve it.
Also, I feel like, does anybody have a question, crowd? Somebody has hands up?
Can you give the
Oh, yes,
microphone to Daniel?
Yes, I got you. Well, please share with us because you joined.
Well, he asked the question to the doctors, right?
Yeah.
You have a question to your pharmacist?
Yeah.
You're a pharmacist? Are you sure?
Oh, no, just question to all.
Let's see. If anybody has any question now, let's go to the next question.
I have a question. So, you're in pharmacy. Did you complete pharmacy school back home or here? What was your journey as a pharmacist, becoming a pharmacist?
Yeah, the starting point, as what doctor was saying, that back in home, the GPA is the benchmark, whether you will be a doctor, pharmacist, or an engineer. If you have high GPA when you graduate from the high school, you will be guaranteed to join medicine, engineering, or pharmacy. If the GPA is not that much, you have to go to the other fields. So the measure was really, is it rewarding over there? But when I see it here, though, you have to go back to the basics, really. Like life is, if we take life as if it is learning, like a newborn, a new baby, whenever he comes first, when the mom handles him, he doesn't know where the feeding is. But once he senses the smell of the mom, he learns where the food is. And then he grows that way. So life is learning. Even at this age, I have to learn how to retire. I have to learn how to live. So life is learning. If we take that, if you could take life that way, whenever you go to college, it is really how to learn. You learn over there how to learn. Otherwise, the choices, the options in America from medicine, I mean, you can tell me more than I can tell you. It is really endless. So you do have an opportunity which is really, you cannot count it in 1, 2, 3 by seeing a doctor or a pharmacist. But what you have to know is really you have to be able to get ready to learn how to learn. In the university, where is the place where you learn the best of achieving your life. So pharmacy is good. I mean, you can go to many places and see where the role is. Otherwise, the limit is not really the way we see it from back home. So that was really the sense why I went to pharmacy. It's really, it was from the perspective view of my place where I was there. It is one of the rewarding professions. I didn't have any other better explanation of saying it in words.
No, we can get it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing. We're going to open it to Abba Mikhail if he has anything to say or anything to share with us. If you have any questions, let us know.
Actually, we want to know about your journey as well, too. Because that's a profession, it's a career. So, what was the inspiration behind that, too? As well, I think that's very important as well.
I was planning just to close with prayer, but if you allow me to say something, as most of you know me, my name is Father Michael. My especially early age starts in a small village, and my father was the one who helped me to be where I'm, especially as a priest. Daniel also knows him. He was just eager to be a priest, but he was the only one for his family with his sister. So at that time, they did not give him the opportunity to join the seminary. So since he was one for his family. So when I was born, he was just helping me to think as a priest. He was helping me to see myself as a priest, and as he guided me since day one, I started to think about my vocation. I was thinking that, oh good, so I'm going to become a priest. So the journey started when I was like 13 years old. I joined the seminary. From that day, it was like 13 years staying in the seminary, and I was ordained a priest in 2016. As you know, every journey has, maybe sometimes you feel tired or you say, oh, maybe I will change another way, but mine was straightforward, just with the help of God. I was just planned to become a priest for all the journey which I stayed in the seminary, and with the help of God, I became a priest, and I served for like 5 years in Eritrea. Then I came out to Sudan. I served in Sudan for 1 year. Then after that, when the bishops asked me to come to the United States, my plan was to go to Italy, but when they asked me to come to United States, to Charlotte, I said okay, and until my documents, until I get my visa, and also, again, they asked me to stay in South Sudan. So I went back also to South Sudan. I stayed there for 1 year and 3 months, and I came here. So finally, I'm here. So I'm happy to be here with you, especially this evening, as we all gather here. It showed me that we are so rich as a community. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have technicians, we have everything. So sometimes maybe we can feel hungry when our pocket is full of money. You don't know how to use it. But we are lucky that this event make us or open for us the way to see the beauty which we have, the richness which we have inside us. So maybe we see this place is still no big buildings here, but after a few years maybe we will have a big church here to build our church and to pray there, to come together. You guys, those who are all here in the United States, to listen the word of God in your language and to experience the culture back home, which we grow up on, to share it with you. So maybe I mix everything, but I know that that I'm happy and I'm excited to be here among you, and to lead you here as a pastor. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. May God bless you.
Alright, thank you, Father, for that. And thank you so much for everybody who's joined us today. I really do hope that you found this very beneficial. And as much as we want to reiterate, we are invested in you guys, and it takes a community. So don't ever try and do things by yourself. Ask God for His assistance. He will guide you. As long as you're obedient to Him and seek Him, everything will come into His, according to His will. And thank you so much for the panelists as well. You guys are amazing. And yes, I just wanted to say that we are very, very very, very grateful for you guys coming here. We respect you guys, not only just us, we look up to you guys too, because you are our leaders. And yes, and God bless everything that you guys are doing too. You guys are paying back even then. This is you guys paying back, and we're very grateful for that. And that's
I just want to use this opportunity. So proud for more for the younger people.
Can you put the microphone close to you?
Yeah. So in my workplace, there is an opportunity for clinical experience observation, and then that is one of the products. He had a rotation, the clinical rotation with us 3-4 years ago. Yes, it is up to 4 weeks. This is during summer time. There is application to be filled. So I brought some of the applications printed. I will give to Simran. She can help you to apply. But this is probably and not can speak his experience. It is better at the probably better timing would be senior high school to during your college time, during summer time, because that will help you to explore if the medical field is a good fit for you, at least to have some exposure. It doesn't have to be, it increases your choices, and at least, you know, it's better to experience that than you can hear about the medical field. But during this experience, students have opportunity to see procedures, to go to OR, and so on. So that's one. Other thing I would like to say is also, previously I was listening to most of you sharing your experiences, which is very interesting. So in my experience, I didn't know, I don't have any family members who was in medical field when I joined, and I didn't have intention to be in a medical field. But probably this is God's will and probably my destiny. And at that time, I have a lot of hesitation, and my elder sister, who is a Catholic nun, once I was assigned to medical school, and the assignment was just not because of my choice. When I was on 12th grade during the last year of our high school, in my absence, my friend filled out. So you have to choose, there is a form that you have to say, if you got the highest score, what do you want to be? You have to choose engineer, pharmacy, or like laws, you have to choose. But I was not there, and one of my friends filled out for me in medical school, first choice, and I was assigned to medical school, not by my choice. But so I wanted to change, and my sister insisted that I should study medicine. Even when I was on fourth, then there was one, I had a scholarship when I was 12th grade before I was assigned to medical school from Europe. That was social studies, like law. And I was always thinking about that. Even in my fourth grade medical school, I asked my sister if I have that opportunity. Even on my, so medical school takes 6 years because we don't have bachelor's degree. You have to start from 5 years of education, and the 6 years is internship. So by the time you graduate, you don't have to go to the residency program. You can start medical practice. Anyway, then my sister told me there is no opportunity. You have this opportunity. You have to persevere. You have to graduate from medical school. She pushed me. Then I continued and graduated. But at that time, I did not appreciate until I started to practice medicine. Then gradually, I start to like the field, and now recently one of my friends was talking about this, and he asked me, he was complaining about medical field, then he asked us, we were 4 or 5 cardiologists, then he said, if you had opportunity, what do you do? He was asking everybody, and I would say, I will go back to medical school. This is how much I love my field at this time. So the point I raise is this is guidance from other friends, elderly family member, or sometimes may be helpful. Now I'm very much grateful to my sister, because at that time my intention was I liked history, I liked geography, some social study. That was my intention. But sometimes when some family member or guide you, probably that guidance may come from God, not just from human being. So that I just want to share my experience. Sorry for taking much of your time.
Thank you.
What certifications or requirements do you need for your career? This is for anybody. So for nursing,
You just really need, so you could get your associate in nursing, so you would have to have like your basic classes first and then like get it, and then apply to like nursing school so you can have associate in nursing, but then after that, there's a bridge you could do from like RN to BSN, it's just a year online program. But whenever you're done with nursing school, you have to take NCLEX, which is like a certification exam in order to practice as a nurse. But that's only like you take that one time, and then like as far as continuing your school, you have to do that again.
So in my field, you do have to get a license, and then we have continuing ed that we have to do 8 hours each year. Even when I did mortgages, we had to get I was licensed for that as well. So there is licensing involved. But the classes, they're pretty short, so it only really takes about 2-3 months to go through the course, depending on if you do it full time.
My field, 4-year degree. Doesn't really matter what it's in, but 4-year degree.
If I could just add to that too, like with us too, like you have to renew your license every 2 years, but you just have to take continuing ed classes because you want to make sure like that you're informed and updated with the new stuff. So we have to renew it every 2 years, but just taking some like courses.
And the other thing I'll say is with most like if you get a 4-year degree, like you're good. You're okay, unless you want to be like a doctor or, in like a specialty, you may need like specialties, but like if you get a 4-year degree, it doesn't matter what it's in, you can maneuver because a lot of the people that graduate in whatever degree don't even end up working in that degree, right? Like the job they get. So it's more important because to me, this is what I used to tell my friends all the time, is like when people would talk about 4-year degree, they're like, look, at the end of the day, the degree says that you have the ability to learn. If you start and you complete it, doesn't matter what the degree is in, it says you have the ability to learn. If you get a 3.0, you have the ability to learn at a 3.0 average. If you get a 4.0, you have the ability to learn at a 4.0 average. So that's really what it is, and at the end of the day, whatever field you're going to, they're going to train you. You're going to get trained, but for the actual certification, and if I'm an employer and I'm looking at you and I'm looking at your degree, you have a 3.0, I know in my mind, okay, I can train her, she's going to be a 3.0. Like, that's what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? So,
You don't need a degree, you don't need to stay licensed, just a second, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you just need your license, but you don't need a bachelor's degree to practice real estate. Yeah.
I wanted to add, because in these times of a bachelor degree, which is 4 years, like Medhanie said, it is interchangeable. Like you could have a philosophy degree, you could go somewhere else. Even like philosophy degrees, like if you have a bachelor's in philosophy, that helps you go into law school. So it's like you don't even have to like take the exact steps. But I will say, it is good to have experiences like internships, all that stuff. Whenever you're in college, obviously it's your time when you're experiencing liberation, freedom for the first time. But definitely who your friends are affects how you move, and affects what you prioritize and what your responsibilities are. There are people that I knew that like they still have their fun, they still was in their community, but they also never lost sight of where they want to go. So I just want to make sure that you guys keep that in mind, because even like, because it also affects with your school schedule. Like I had an internship lined up, and because it conflicted with my school schedule, I couldn't do it. So that's where now like I'm post-grad and I'm doing internships now. But if I took necessary steps, like even sophomore year, like there are so many opportunities, and it doesn't even have to be internships, volunteering, that's a great part of it. Because like Medhanie said, like the degree shows that you're able to learn, but then also like the experiences that you add on to that shows that you're pursuing that outside, which shows that you're driven and disciplined and all these really good characteristics. So just make sure that you pick your right friends, and you never lose sight of where you're wanting to go, because no one is going to prioritize that besides you guys. So yeah.
So for me, for my field, for HVAC, you don't need anything. You just have to go to school, back to school, for technical school, and I thought they were going to require me for high school or GED stuff, but nothing is required for HVAC technician. You just have to go to school. But after some time, you need to be a certified technician. So in order to put the gauge in the system, you need to be certified. If you are not certified, you cannot have the fan or the gas for the AC. So that's what required. While I have the microphone, can I have some water? What I want to tell you guys, or you parents, because I am a parent, never settle with little thing. This certificate or stuff, they are just paper. People give you, but people don't see inside of you. There is a verse in the Bible saying, if you have very small belief or faith in you, you can move this mountain out of you to die. So don't be settled, or don't have some stuff in front of you, of certificate or 4-year or 5-year, whatever. No, you need to dream big. And you are in the best country in the world. When I see from opportunity, this is the land of opportunity. And you guys just come from the sky here. We struggled to come here. We paid a lot. We came here negative. I'm serious. We came here negative. With debt. Right? But you are positive now. We may be positive. You just have to run and dream big. Don't be settled with small stuff. Doctor was saying he wants you to come to his field. And I want your parents to come to my field. Okay? Tell them, please. I have similar. I have to go now. As I told you, thank you very much for everything, and I'm very proud to be in between you guys. And thank you, Simran. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I also wanted to add one more thing. There's a reason why we intertwine faith in it, because we are a faith community. We also want to understand that your career is not your identity, that it's not your whole purpose in your life, so make sure you separate that. This is just a way for you to make money and be able to, fund your life and everything, but that is not your identity. Do not make it your identity. That is not completely who you are. And if anybody have any more questions? Yes.
I was wondering, for college, what are some skills that you guys think you need to have or learn that high school might have not taught you?
It's a really good question. Anybody want to answer that?
Time management. It's the distractions are so easy. It's easy to, because this is the first time you're not gonna have your mom or dad right beside you saying, "Hey, do this, do that." You're basically on your own. So I would say that is probably the biggest thing you're gonna have to learn is time management. When you're gonna be able to do stuff, when you're not. Don't wait till the last minute, but nobody's gonna tell you that. So you'll find yourself a lot of times when you get to college, you got a test on one day, and you don't study the entire week, and then Sunday night is when you are probably, but don't do that.
Yeah, I would say, time management, and also just because you're coming from high school where it's very structured, you go into this class, and this class, where in college it's you pick your classes and kind of the time, the hour, so your professor's not going to care. They're not going to message your mom if you don't show up for your 8 o'clock class. You're going to miss it. You're not going to have that material. So sometimes, like, you know, people that they struggle their first semester because they don't know how to kind of manage their time, or they don't, like, they might not go to the class, they might not study like they need to, or just like they're in an environment where they're not, like, maybe they're partying too much and so on. So you kind of have to, you know, be careful with that. I would say that that's an issue sometimes the first semester.
I would say discernment, because in high school, I mean, even if, at every level, but like, you take friendships, there's already a certain amount of people in that school. So what you have to do now is choose which kind of friends you want in that. I went to a school with 50,000 plus people, like, you have, I don't know, NC State's crazy. But you have, it's just like discernment of like, okay, what kind of people do you want, like, do I want around me? And that takes time. Discernment for your classes, like, you know, everything up until now has been like, you're part of the system, you know, like your parents are doing stuff for you. If not, like, you have the route for education. Discernment for what you want to do in life, or like how you manage your time. What are your priorities? It's a big, like, yeah, in college you learn like every life skill, not every, but most of it. Like, it's a whole entire, for me, I learned more in college, like, for life purposes than I did, I guess, for my degree, because it shapes you. And this guy's a stutter, sorry. But, what's it called? There's a thought. Oh, yes. It's experiences. You can't, like, go out, like, the lessons that you'll learn, it's not something that you can see sometimes. It's more about, like, sometimes you will be doing the wrong thing without realizing it, and then you'll realize where you need to be. So it's just about, I guess, yeah, I don't know, college is a very interesting time. Yeah, but just stay true to yourself. Anybody else?
As a college student at the moment, I feel like discernment is probably one of the biggest things, because everything you do will affect you after college. It's not, you wake up tomorrow and there's no consequences. Like, be careful who your friends are, be careful what classes you choose. Advisors did not help, I learned that the hard way. Just be who you are and just kind of find out things about yourself, and you're gonna do it with people around you. You're not gonna do it with classes. Classes are just there for you to have a degree. It's not gonna help you in the long run. Time management, that was a really big thing. I feel like right now even I have kind of stretched myself so thin to the point where I'm committed to so many things. But it's helped me, like, stay in my community. I'm part of ISA, which kind of helps me stay in the culture, stay with my friends, and I feel like that's the biggest part for me, at least.
Yes. As a college student, I would say alone time. Prioritizing alone time. Okay? I always understood that you come into this world with nothing, you leave with nothing. Okay? So I always keep that in the back of my mind. One, it makes you build your confidence on your own. I know, like, in the type of world that we live right now in social media, it always makes us seem like you always have to be on 10, you always have to have so many friends and activities going on, but you need to be able to be alone so you can have that discernment. Discernment comes from being able to listen within, God guiding you through the Holy Spirit, and through that, through learning what is actually for you, and you'll be able to differentiate that. So I feel like alone time is very, very important in college. That's it. All right. Is there any more questions? Okay, bring it back. Okay.
Besides like internships and stuff, what would be like the best way to figure out what job you want to do? Or is internships like the main way to go about it?
Anybody want to answer?
I think internship, or like just kind of shadowing, like a day with someone, like if you have, like, let's say, you know, engineer or something like that, or, you know, so I would say that. Or just actually, like, just networking with different people, like talking to different people that do that, you know, if you have like a few things in mind maybe that you want to do, and just be like, hey, what's your ideal day? And that kind of thing. Or, you know, is there opportunity for me to kind of shadow a day with you? And with a lot of careers, there is such opportunities and stuff. And just kind of, Think about like what you would like to do. What do you see yourself doing like not in 5 years, but do I see myself being happy with this in 10 years? But like they were saying, a lot of the careers, like if you have a 4-year, even with like nursing, like there's so much, you can work from home with it. There's different things that once you have the degree, it's not like you're stuck on one thing. There's a lot of things that you could do with that same degree, with that same 4-year degree. There's different paths. If you're not happy with what you're doing here, then you could try something else. And then a year or 2 years, because a lot of the jobs will train you, like like in my careers, even if I wanted to just change it to something else, there's 3 months training into that. Like if I wanted to work from home, there's opportunities for that. So I would say like networking and kind of shadowing and talking to people, because a lot of people that are like, let's say like my age or even younger, like we like to give back. But sometimes we don't know who wants help or who wants that information, so people are willing to help, so you just have to be willing to kind of seek the help.
Piggybacking off that, I would say talk to your professors. To answer your question, you'll never know until you know. Like I want to try the copyright field. I'm doing it now a month in, and I realize this is not for me. Or if it is for me, then I need to be so dedicated that I'll like where I'm at maybe in 10 years. Is that going to satisfy me? It's not. So then I'm pivoting. But as far as for college, they sell you internships because obviously you can put that on paper, and you get also credit for that as well, so it works best. But I would say talk to your professors. Not every professor will be helpful, but it's just about, even if the professor isn't doing it for you, you can go to your scheduled meeting like with your advisor, and then they can assist you like talking to the head of the department. And like she said, like people do want to help, especially in college. Like it's students and it's full on adults, so like they're there to guide you. But I think like talking to professors or talking to people like who are in those fields, they're guiding steps, but you're never gonna know until you jump and you're in that water, and that's okay. That's where you just pick yourself back up and you try something new.
And then I would just say, like, it doesn't matter what you do. Like, the internship is not your job, right? So, like, it gives you an opportunity. So, but just don't waste time. So, senior year, he said he had a doctor said that there was senior year you could start applying there. Freshman year in college, you do an internship after that. Sophomore year, you do an internship. So every year, you just don't waste your summers of doing nothing. Do something, because the something will at least let you know if you like it or you don't. You may be in customer service and you're like, you know what, I hate that because I hate talking to people or whatever. So you understand what you like, what you don't like. It's not necessarily about the internship, it's about the experience.
And maybe consider doing entry-level positions. Like I was in retail at a young age. I loved it. I loved sales. I realized that was my thing. I love working with people. So maybe consider looking at entry-level positions in a field that you might be considering. But internships are the best that I've heard.
I feel like I'm gonna say the most obvious answer, panels. I feel like figuring out like what other people do and you're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. It's kind of something, at least that's how I found out what I wanted to do. Somebody came and spoke to us at our school when I was in high school, and that's when I was like, okay, this might be the career for me. So I feel like take every opportunity to just take advantage of it. There's so many people here to talk to you about their careers and their fields, and if you're interested, network with them. This is your opportunity to get connections and mentorships if y'all interested. But just talk right now. Figure out what type of person you are. I feel like everybody doesn't fit every field. If you're like a really shy type, that might not be, sales might not be the type. That's at least not for me. But just kind of figure out what type of person you are and what kind of characteristics you bring to the table. And Alice, yeah? 100%, I'm not gonna add to that. That's really good.
I would say mentorships, internships, I think it's good because it really pushes you, I feel like, to one, see what you want to do, and then also I think it pushes you to be in consideration. I think also to meet other people too, because you might be in like a company and you might get an internship for that, but there might be a position there just because you're just talking to another coworker or whatever that might guide you into another position. So it opens doors. You can meet people, and maybe it's like where you can like kind of pivot or something like that. But I think that's very important. I would say try and find internships that do pay. So if not, that's fine, but because your time is valuable, so that's the only thing I would say. But other than that, is there anything?
Yeah, just I guess adding to what Brian said, like experiences matter the most. Like even with internships as important as they are, like you're not always going to get them, or they might not be available. So whether it's volunteering, shadowing, like for me with Dr. Desvalda's program, like I was able to go into it and see like from the lens of a doctor and Dr. Desvalda, a PA, a nurse practitioner, other surgeons, and kind of just see not only, even though I was there for him, I got to see other fields and like know, okay, I don't want to be a PA, I don't want to be a nurse practitioner, I don't want to be a nurse, but I want to be a doctor. And then even in that, his field's cardiology, and then like everything I did learn from him, I like ended up determining that like, I probably wouldn't go into cardiology as a future. So, and that's just like, I didn't get paid, it wasn't like, it's an internship that like technically just shadowing, but it's just an experience. And then on top of that, when you go to, that was in high school, you go into college, even with like jobs, so like you can, like I'm a pre-med student, but I don't have to like technically major in anything pre-med related. Like you can be, my friend's a music theory major, but then at the end of the day she wants to be a doctor. So, but at the end of the day it's going to be down to what experience you have, because as long as she's getting her shadowing hours, like her clinical hours, she can major in music, learn everything she wants about music and get that degree, but then still be a doctor at the end of the day. And the same thing goes for the law, business, like even computer science. Like you can have a computer science degree and then not get a job just because of the fact, like you're not going to get a job just because of the fact you majored in it. It's down to your experiences, what you did during your time. And then again, like you have 4 summers in college, you have 4 summers in high school. You don't get an internship, then like pivot to something else, like go to a local clinic or volunteer somewhere that's related to your field in any type of way. It doesn't necessarily always have to be like a official internship offer, and then you're not getting paid or flown out. It can just be an experience that helps you get to where you need to be at the end of the day.
So did your internship make you want to be a doctor?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to be a doctor, but it helped me like decide what kind of doctor I want to be. So like my 2 things growing up were always going to be cardiology and oncology. So working with him and then seeing like the day-to-day with the patients, seeing the capital procedures and like different surgeries, it was all very interesting. I learned a lot, but then I think for like a long-term field, it showed me that this is probably the field I want to do forever type of thing. Even though like nothing's forever, you can always be a cardiologist and pivot as long as you get your specialty. But yeah, it showed me that it cemented I wanted to be a doctor for sure, because I was in that environment. Like you're seeing the patients, you're talking to the patients, talking to the other PAs. Like I learned from all the medical professionals in that field, and then I was able to determine that okay, like long term, I do want to be a doctor, but this is not this type of doctor. But everything I gained from Dr. Desvalda was just as helpful, if not more.
How was he as a student?
Her question is really very basic. To start, she compared high school to the college. So if you keep in mind, life is as if life is learning. When you go from high school to the college, it is really a big change in your life. You are the one to choose. You are the one to decide how to learn and what to learn. In that, there is peer pressure when friends really tell you which one will be better for them, for you as well. And then there are also professors maybe or student or employees of the university promoting a department. It can be computer science, it can be medicine, it can be geography, it can be history. And these people, when they just sit in front of you in a hall, they are very strong. They have ideas and words that can influence you very easily. So to come to the point, when you go from high school to college, it is really, you have to know that you are now learning how to learn, to be yourself, and then you have to be able to choose as well. The options are too much in here. They may be, in fact, not easy to choose out of them, but it depends how successful you will be by choosing one for you. So you are the one to decide in improving your life by really staying, learning how to learn. Always, this will live with you until the end. So you are the one to choose. But you know, no more mommy, no more daddy. There are so many friends and the others as well. So the stronger you are, the better you will be.
I just wanted to add, I don't know if you guys know, because going off what he said, you guys have to, I mean, this is how it usually goes, but you feel pressure to decide your major because you're supposed to have your declared major by your sophomore year, so it's like the beginning of your beginning of your second year, right? And you have like some pushback, like 'cause for me, I was over there and I was like, I don't know what I want to do, and I was like, okay, but the time is nearing, because then if you don't know what you're gonna do, if you don't make a decision based off what's right for you, then that's where, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It also it's not a bad thing if it does take you more than 4 years, guys. That's not a bad thing at all. So take your time with it if need be, but sometimes so much time. But there is pressure. But I was gonna say as well, during your first 2 years, most of your classes are general electives. And so for me, like I went in exploratory, but I knew that I had a passion for culture and like understanding different cultures. So I just took electives that kind of fit that. And then I took intro to international, international something. But then off that class, I realized, okay, I want to deal more with culture, and this is talking about economics. So you pivot. So I would say a great way in the college system is choosing your electives well, not because of how easy the class is or X, Y, and Z, but because there are definitely intro classes that can enlighten you of what path you want to take. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But there is pressure, but it's okay. Take your time with it and stay true to yourself.
Changed my major 3 times.
And you made it.
So we're gonna go wrap it up right now. Thank you again for everybody participating. You look dearly. I promise you, this is amazing, and I'm so glad. And I think we can't express enough like how excited we are for the future too, and for you guys as well. Let's give everybody a round of applause. I know we're a little bit running late, so I'm sorry for that, but I feel like I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did. We have refreshments outside as well, and Father, if you could do a closing prayer for us, please. Sorry.
I just want to say thank you for you guys for organizing this, for Simran Asmaret and Father Michael for doing all this. This is great. Thank you so much. This is needed. Thank you.
Also, I would like to thank you all guys on behalf of our community, the community of Medhanie Alem, to all the speakers, and especially for you guys who are organizing this program, join with Simran. Really, I'm thankful, and we thank you, and we hope to continue this program. It's helpful for all of us and for the growth of our community to come together and to know each other in a better way. Thank you. The Lord be with you. May Almighty God bless you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Go in peace.